David was a young shepherd. He took care of his father's sheep. David was a good shepherd. He was brave and strong. One day, a giant named Goliath threatened the Israelites. Goliath was a mighty warrior. David's brothers were in the Israelite army. David's father was worried. He sent David to the battlefield. He wanted David to check on his brothers. The Philistines were a powerful enemy, known for their fierce warriors and advanced weaponry. They had long been a thorn in the side of the Israelites, constantly threatening their borders and challenging their strength. They challenged the Israelites to a fight, a battle that would determine the fate of their people. The tension in the air was palpable as both armies faced each other, waiting for the first move. Goliath, the champion of the Philistines, stepped forward from their ranks. He was not just any warrior, he was a giant, towering over everyone else on the battlefield. He was a giant among men, standing over 9 feet tall, with armor that gleamed in the sunlight and a spear that seemed more like a tree trunk. Goliath roared out a challenge, his voice booming across the valley. His words were filled with contempt and confidence as he dared any Israelite to come forward and face him in single combat. He dared any Israelite to fight him, mocking their courage and their God. His challenge was simple. If he won, the Israelites would become servants of the Philistines. He said whoever won would decide the battle, and the losing side would serve the victors. It was a high-stakes gamble, one that filled the Israelite soldiers with dread. The Israelite soldiers were afraid, their hearts filled with fear and uncertainty. They had never seen a warrior like Goliath, and his presence alone was enough to shake their resolve. They trembled at the sight of Goliath, their courage waning with each passing moment. The giant's taunts echoed in their minds, making them doubt their own strength and the strength of their God. No one dared to face the giant. The battlefield remained empty, as soldier after soldier backed away from the challenge, unwilling to risk their lives against such a formidable foe. For 40 days and nights, Goliath repeated his challenge. Each day he would step forward, his voice ringing out across the valley, mocking the Israelites and their God. He mocked the Israelites and their God, laughing at their fear and hesitation. His confidence grew with each passing day as he waited for someone brave enough to face him. The Israelites were a mighty army, but they were paralyzed with fear. They were afraid of Goliath's size and strength. King Saul, their leader, was also afraid. He had no answer to Goliath's challenge. The Israelite army was in despair. David arrived at the camp. He saw the fear in his brother's eyes. He heard Goliath's challenge. He was surprised by their fear. David believed in God. He knew God was stronger than any giant. He volunteered to fight Goliath. Section 4. David's unwavering faith. King Saul was surprised. He had never seen such confidence in someone so young. He saw that David was just a boy, but David was confident. His eyes shone with a determination that belied his years. He told Saul about his faith. He spoke with a conviction that was unshakable, a belief that was deeply rooted in his experiences. David said he had killed lions and bears. He recounted his encounters with these wild beasts, describing how he had protected his flock. He protected his sheep from them. Each time he had faced danger head-on, relying on his skills and his faith. He said God would help him defeat Goliath. His faith was unwavering, and he believed that divine help would see him through. Saul was encouraged by David's faith. The king saw a spark in the young shepherd that he had not seen in his seasoned warriors. He finally agreed to let David fight. Despite his initial doubts, Saul could not deny the boy's courage and conviction. He offered David his armor and sword. The king wanted to give him every possible advantage in the battle. David refused the heavy armor. He knew that it would only hinder him, not help him. He took only his shepherd's staff, sling, and 5 smooth stones. These were the tools he was familiar with, the ones he trusted. He went to face Goliath. With unwavering faith and a heart full of courage, David stepped onto the battlefield, ready to face the giant. Section 5. Triumph of Courage and Faith. This is the story of a young shepherd boy who faced an insurmountable challenge with unwavering faith and courage. Goliath laughed when he saw David. The giant warrior, towering over everyone, found it amusing that such a small boy would dare to challenge him. He thought David was too small to fight. To Goliath, David seemed like an insignificant opponent, not worthy of a serious battle. But David knew God was with him. His faith was his armor, and his trust in God gave him the strength to face the giant without fear. David put a stone in his sling. He chose his weapon carefully, knowing that it was not the size of the weapon, but the power of his faith that would make the difference. He swung it around and let it fly. With precision and confidence, he released the stone, aiming straight for Goliath. The stone hit Goliath right in the forehead. The impact was so powerful that it stunned the giant, bringing him to his knees. The giant fell with a crash. The mighty warrior who had terrorized the Israelites lay defeated on the ground. He was defeated by a shepherd boy. The Philistines were terrified. They turned and ran. The sight of their fallen champion sent waves of fear through their ranks. David's courage and faith saved the Israelites. His victory was not just a personal triumph, but a moment of salvation for his people. He showed that even a small person can do great things with God's help. David's story is a testament to the power of faith and the strength that comes from believing in something greater than oneself. The story of David and Goliath is a reminder that we should never give up hope. No matter how daunting the challenge, faith and courage can lead to victory. No problem is too big for God. With faith, even the smallest among us can overcome the greatest obstacles.